Good morning to you, friends. Once again, this is Dr. Arun Dhir, and the message for today is the strong link between stress and your health. Now, friends, I've been working in mainstream medicine for now over 2.5 decades, and I have seen a variety of patients with different kinds of problems, and they come to doctors seeking for the answers. And I'm not saying that medical science is incomplete. Don't get me wrong. I think the discoveries that medicine has made over the last few centuries is nothing but astonishing. We have managed to transplant hearts and lungs and livers and kidneys. Now that's amazing. That has provided a huge sort of, improvement in the quality of lives of millions and millions of people across the globe. But here's what I'm coming from, when a patient comes to a doctor, the first thing they're wanting to find out is what is their diagnosis? What is the problem that they have? And doctors, with all due respect, myself included, we love investigations. We run this test, we run that test. And what it then shows us is that there is a problem that our test has picked up, and we want to give it a label. And that label is a diagnosis. Now, when we give the label to a problem, you know what? We have seen that the patients, they feel so relieved that they've got a problem now. Now they start focusing on the solution. But imagine when medical science is not able to give a label. There are a lot of times when we don't have a diagnosis, or it's too hard to find it. We've done all the tests. They're coming back as normal. There is nothing that can be done. Or there is a diagnosis that we have reached, but we can't do anything about it. Now, I occasionally give the analogy of when you tend, and those of you who are listening might have a backyard or a garden or something like that, When we see the weeds coming out of the garden beds, we tend to say, oh, this is that weed, this is that weed. But it really doesn't matter, because no matter what weed it is a weed, and it needs to be pulled out, it needs to be treated. So we focus all our attention on the weed, but we don't think that there may be a problem with the soil that is constantly giving all these weeds. Sometimes the soil has spoiled to a level that it needs a revamp, it needs a nutrition, it needs fertilizer. So that's what we need to focus on, and that's the analogy that I translate into mainstream medicine. If your body is unhealthy, there is a lot of stress. Now, stress and health is well known, because stress response is amazing. We need it to protect ourselves. It's also called the fight or the flight response. But if this stress response goes haywire and it is chronic, as in long lasting, this can be detrimental. It can hurt us. And we know from centuries ago that people who would stress a lot and go for nicotine and caffeine in order to kind of suppress or support the stress, they would get ulcers in the stomach. Now that's just one thing. But what is more important now is that stress affects a multitude of organs. And that is when they start to dysfunction, when their function goes down, that it starts to manifest as obesity, diabetes, cardiovascular problems, or allergies and inflammation in the body. So friends, please work on the soil. The weeds, they can be tackled, but work on the soil. If you don't work on the soil, these weeds will continue to pop up, and it will create long-term problems. So my analogy is focus on managing your stress. We just need to learn to manage it. We all experience stress, but we want to make sure that we have got appropriate management strategies. And one such strategy is meditation, or being mindful and doing things without any distraction. I'll leave you here for today. Hope you're having a great time, and I'll see you again next time.